The fragile understanding between the United States and Iran appears to be rapidly unraveling. What began as attacks on commercial tankers in the Strait of Hormuz has now spiraled into a military confrontation stretching across the Gulf. Washington has revoked a key sanctions waiver granted to Iran just weeks ago, launched one of its biggest military operations against the Islamic Republic, and now both sides are trading strikes as fears of a wider regional war intensify. The diplomatic breakthrough between Washington and Tehran lasted barely a month. In June, the United States had issued a temporary general license allowing Iran to continue producing, selling, and exporting crude oil until August 21st. The waiver formed part of a broader memorandum of understanding signed after months of fighting, offering Tehran limited sanctions, relief in return for restraint, and continued negotiations. But that agreement is now hanging by a thread. The turning point came in the Strait of Hormuz. Within hours, 3 commercial vessels transiting one of the world's busiest energy corridors came under attack. The vessels included the Marshall Islands-flagged tanker Al-Rekayat, the Saudi-flagged Wedyan, and the Liberian-flagged Cyprus Prosperity. One vessel reportedly caught fire after being struck, while another was reportedly hit by a drone. The United States blamed Iran for the attacks, calling them an unacceptable threat to freedom of navigation and international commerce. Washington responded swiftly. The U.S. Treasury revoked Iran's temporary oil waiver, cutting off the sanctions relief that had been granted only weeks earlier. American officials made it clear that any economic benefits under the memorandum depended entirely on Iran's behavior. They insisted negotiations toward a permanent agreement would continue, but only if Tehran honored its commitments. Diplomacy, however, quickly gave way to military action. The U.S. Central Command launched a massive wave of precision strikes across Iran. According to CENTCOM, more than 80 military targets were hit. The operation targeted Iranian air defense systems, command and control centers, coastal radar installations, anti-ship missile batteries, and more than 60 Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps fast attack boats positioned near the Strait of Hormuz. Explosions were reported across southern Iran, including Bandar Abbas, Keshem Island, and Sirik. Iran condemned the strikes as a violation of the ceasefire and accused Washington of breaching the Memorandum of Understanding. Tehran warned that the United States would face consequences. Soon after, the conflict spread beyond Iranian territory. Iran claimed it had launched missiles and drones against 85 American military targets across the Gulf, including Ali al-Salem Air Base in Kuwait, and facilities linked to the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. Kuwait activated its air defense systems to intercept incoming threats. Bahrain also sounded nationwide missile warning sirens. However, the United States, Bahrain, and Kuwait have not confirmed Iran's claims of damage, and no independent evidence has yet been released to verify the scale of the alleged attacks. Meanwhile, global markets reacted immediately. Oil prices surged as investors feared disruption to shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, a waterway through which roughly 1/5 of the world's traded oil passes. With sanctions back in force, missiles flying across the Gulf, and ceasefire commitments collapsing, the path back to diplomacy appears increasingly uncertain. What began as a dispute over commercial shipping has now evolved into one of the most dangerous confrontations between Washington and Tehran in recent years.
If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to Mirror Now.